Hello there, this is the Shadow Ranger. Gonna do some wrestling talk. It's been a while since I made a video talking about wrestling. Since the last time I made videos, I've just been making preparations to return to school. I returned to school a few weeks ago. Trying to get the hang of this because I'm having to learn stuff I haven't studied before, linguistics. You know, as I mentioned before, I spent a couple years in Korea working as an English teacher, and I want to pursue a master's degree for teaching English as a second language because it opens me up to much better jobs. So I decided to come back to school, getting situated here in my apartment, and getting settled into class for the first couple of weeks and things. So I just finally felt in the mood to do a video. It's really just need to be in the mood to do a video. There's been a lot going on in wrestling since I last made a video, so I'm just kind of gonna talk about things as they come. The Rock won the WWE Championship. I've gotta admit, that was, I kind of saw it coming. I think that had a lot to do with the incredibly long reign of CM Punk. And it seems like they're going to build to the Big Rock versus Cena rematch. You know, they've been telling this story of Rock versus Cena across 3 WrestleManias. WrestleMania 27, The Rock cost Cena the championship match against The Miz. Then at 28, The Rock beat Cena one-on-one. So now this would be the third encounter at WrestleMania, their second match, and only this time the title's on the line. Makes a lot of sense. Rock versus Cena, it was like the biggest. I remember hearing it was supposedly like the biggest drawing WrestleMania ever last year. So of course they would do it again. I know a lot of people in IWC don't like it, and they don't like that Punk lost the title. But every title reign has to come to an end. Punk has the title for over 400 days. That's great for him. That's a title reign that solidifies his legacy in the business. And I wouldn't be surprised if he retires soon. I've heard some rumors about Punk retiring within the next year or two, and if he did, it wouldn't surprise me. There's really nothing left for him to do. The only accolades you could add to him that he hasn't already had is King of the Ring and Royal Rumble, but he doesn't really need to. He's been a top star, a top face, and a top heel. Cut a memorable promo. He had a WWE title reign that lasted over 400 days. That's the 5th longest in history. There's really not much else left for him to do. The rumors that Punk's going to face Undertaker at Mania, I think that'd be a good match for him. I don't expect him to end the streak. I said before, one of the reasons I think the Undertaker WrestleMania streak isn't going to end is because of how big it's been built up and how much of a rub it is for a guy to win that match. And I've always been of the opinion that if you're good enough that they would give you that win, then you don't need it. If you really look at the guys over the past excuse me, if you look at the guys over the past 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years where they've really built up that streak, the guys you really thought would do it are guys who ended up not needing it. You really thought Randy Orton was going to do it, but he didn't need it. You might have, I think it was believable that Shawn Michaels would do it, but he didn't need it. And Triple H, the same thing. He didn't need it. The guys who are good enough to get it don't need it. So that's the reason I say it'll probably never end. Right now, as far as Undertaker, there's mixed attitudes as to whether or not he's going to be at Mania this year. I hope he's there. I like seeing The Undertaker, so I want to, the last couple of years he's only done one match, so, I want to see that one match. What else going on? Overall, like I'm pretty much liking most of what's happening in WWE right now. Going to Elimination Chamber this Sunday. Mark Henry came back last week, been destroying people, and I like seeing that. That's always cool. Something strange I noticed on Raw this week and last week. There was no Divas match, and that was odd. But there are going to be a match of Caitlyn versus Tamina at the pay-per-view this Sunday, so I'm wondering what the deal is with that. Brock Lesnar is back. Most people saying it's looking like it's going to be him against Triple H in a rematch. I guess I can see that happening. Not many other people I think would work. Some people have speculated Undertaker. But I don't really see that happening. And my apologies, I'm kind of sleepy. I've been out all day. I didn't have any classes today. My one class got canceled. I've just been chilling out in the student union. It's just been a really slow, dull day. It was raining all day, and then they played some video in the student union earlier talking about wanting the people to learn about like what to do in the case of an active shooter, and they played like clips from the Columbine shooter, so I could hear this video and there's gunshots and people screaming in my head while I'm in the student union trying to do some homework. It was just creepy. Sorry. What else I want to say? I'm expecting Brock versus Triple H because, Brock took out Vince McMahon, the father-in-law. Makes full sense. Come to WrestleMania, Triple H can get his win back, make it full circle. But Brock did sign a new contract, so I'm interested to see, what Brock does after WrestleMania. What's next for him after this match? I wonder what the Divas are going to do for WrestleMania. Because, I did a video where I was fantasy booking the Divas going into WrestleMania. And the match I built up to was AJ against Eve. But Eve has since left WWE and AJ's turned heel. Thinking maybe they could do something with AJ and Caitlyn. You got enough time to build up something there if you want to go and put the belt on AJ. And, you can build off of the friendship they used to have and how that all just kind of went to crap. I mean, as far as something with a storyline, that's your best bet. You don't have a whole lot else you can do with the Divas. I mean, you can just start with a backstage segment and Caitlyn with the Divas title, AJ encountering her, AJ being all spiteful and jealous now that she turned heel. And heelish in that way. And, they could get into another fight backstage. I remember they got into a fight a couple months ago, right before Eve was coming out for a title match, and her and AJ got into an altercation. So, you can really build up on their former friendship and just how it deteriorated with AJ just, being a nutball. Gotta say, AJ is... I guess her push is over because now she's just a valet now. I mean, all through 2012, she was like probably the third biggest star on the show as far as TV and storyline. I mean, you really look at the shows like Cena, Punk, AJ. And she was involved in a lot of that Cena Punk stuff, So AJ just kind of involved in a lot of different things last year. Now she went from being in main event storylines with John Cena, CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, Kane, the top guys. Now she's Dolph Ziggler's girlfriend. It's like she's really fallen. And they brought in like Big E Langston to be a bodyguard. It's like I don't really know much about this guy because I never watched NXT. Only thing about him stands out to me, he looked like a forgotten member of the Nation of Domination. And I love the Nation of Domination. That's a group at any time I'd love to see come back. Put him in it. You got him. You got Mark Henry. You got Ezekiel Jackson not doing a damn thing. You just need to have somebody do one, cut one angry black guy promo, and you can build a new nation. But like the original nation, it might be hard to make them believable is that somebody could beat them. I mean, if you really take three guys like that with that size of Mark Henry, Big E Langston, and Ezekiel Jackson, it's kind of hard to find guys that's believable that can beat them. And this guy look believable. You gotta have some other black dudes in there that ain't doing much of nothing. That's disgruntled. JTG ain't doing a damn thing. He could be a disgruntled guy, tired of being overlooked, tired of being held down, tired of being oppressed, and that's why he joins up with the nation. What else you got? Maybe Brodus Clay, if they're gonna ever do something with him other than him just dance, But he's more of the babyface character. I don't think they want to get rid of the babyface stuff yet, so maybe they wouldn't do that with him. But they could try to recruit him and get turned down, and he could be the guy that they kind of fight with because, they want to take him out because he won't join them. Yeah. Speaking of that, I've got to see Cameron and Naomi finally wrestle as a tag team on TV. That was cool. They had a match last week. I believe it was on Main Event. Naomi was great to watch. Cameron, not as much. But, everything's great about Naomi. I mean, she's athletic. She looks good in the ring. She's deliciously gorgeous. I fantasize about having a woman that looked like Naomi with that body. She just got just thick, juicy curves everywhere. That's just the kind of body I love. Can't go wrong with that. What else am I talking about? What is on WWE? Yeah, Miz, Cesaro. I don't really. It's okay. Not much I want to say about it, but like I said, Dutch Mantel showed up on Raw last night with Jack Swagger, cutting sort of this really sort of strong, conservative, really Fox Newsy type promo. And I've always wanted to see a character like that. I always wish they would do a character where the big pro-American guy was the heel and the foreigner was the baby face. And I always thought I used to picture JBL in this role, but if you had somebody like Daivari or another guy, well, it might not be able to do with Daivari because he has history with WWE, but somebody who either is or can pass as Arabic, and they're the face who's just trying to wrestle, and the heel is the American guy who's trying to stereotype him. Like I imagine the guy walking into a building with his bags, and the heel going, check his bags, he might got a bomb in it, he's of terrorist descent, check him. Trying to make security check the guy's bag, talking about there might be a bomb in it or something like that. Just really being really thick, kind of a little racist, a little xenophobic, and really be the heel. And that's kind of what I got from Dutch last night. And he ain't using the name Dutch Mantel. They call him Zebekiah Coulter. I don't know that name. I'm not familiar with it. But apparently he done the character in WWE before because Michael Cole and JBL act like they knew who he was. Was that JBL? No, King and Cole, whoever the commentators was, act like they knew him. I thought it was somebody different. I saw the guy, I thought, ain't that Dutch Mantel? They said his name's Zebekiah Coulter. I'm like, I thought that was Dutch Mantel, but it actually was, I've had that happen before. I didn't realize two do the same thing. When I was a little kid, I used to watch WCW, and I was 5, 6 years old, and I was a big fan of Johnny B. Bad. And when I got older, around 10, 11, and around the 6th grade, I started watching Raw. And I was a fan of Wild Man Mark Mero, and it was years before I figured out they were the same guy. I didn't notice it. It was I think I looked up one of them on Wikipedia and realized, or somewhere on the internet, and I realized that's the same guy. I never realized that Mark Mero was Johnny B. Bad. Then when I first realized, man, how did I never notice that? They look so much alike. Well, when I was a kid, I never really noticed it as a kid that Mark Merrill and Johnny B. Bad were the same guy. I tell you another little kind of embarrassing story, wrestling related. Now that I look at it now, when I was a kid, and I used to watch Raw, and the Legion of Doom would come out. I may have told you this story before, but I'll tell it again. And you know, they would always be introduced as, you know, Road Warrior Hawk, Road Warrior Animal, the Legion of Doom. I used to watch that thinking, you know, if one guy's name is Road Warrior Hawk, and the other guy's name is Road Warrior Animal, how come their team is called the Legion of Doom? Shouldn't their team be called the Road Warriors? I didn't know. Yeah, I got older and I started learning more and writing shooting reviews. I learned the whole story behind it, but I used to think that as a kid, like, why don't they just call him the Road Warrior? I'm like, yeah, they used to do that all the time. Everywhere else but here, that's what they called them. Yeah. I don't mind sharing that little story with you. They got Bruno Sammartino to go in the Hall of Fame. I want to know who's... Bruno Sammartino's going to the Hall of Fame, and I'm just thinking... The Devil's got a new soul, because I think that's what had to happen to get that to happen. Somebody sold their soul to get that one. Was forking over a whole lot of cash, because I didn't think that one ever going to happen. But, you know, kudos, they got that pulled off. Another rumor I heard is that the last inductee is actually going to be Madison Square Garden itself. They're going to induct the actual building. Hang on, let me adjust my mic a little bit. That they're going to induct the actual building itself into the Hall of Fame, into the WWE Hall of Fame. That would be cool, because, you know, I wouldn't want to see another person inducted, because once you've announced Bruno, anybody else you announce after him is just kind of going to seem lackluster. And that's the problem with a small class. You know, this year's class is, you know, Mick Foley, Bob Backlund, Trish Stratus, and Bruno Sammartino. You know, you could do an hour-long special on TV, Hall of Fame special, induct each one of them. They each have to be a time to come up and give themselves a good 10, 15, 30, 45, 16, good 10-minute speech, maybe. And you still got 20 minutes for, like, commercials and video packages and stuff like that, but, you know, good 10-minute speech each one. Yeah, I mean, you'd want more for Bruno. You know, I gotta say, you know, you think Bruno is not 10 minutes to say enough, because there's just so much you think Bruno would have to say that you can't really put it on in 10 minutes. So I wonder how much time they're gonna have on TV to show stuff. I've heard something to the effect they might just put only one person on TV. They might just do just like Mick and Bruno be the only ones you see on TV, and you have to like get the DVD to hear Trish and Bob Backlund. But you know, for a 4-person class is all right. And make it 5 if you induct Madison Square Garden, the building. You have a representative of MSG come in and give the acceptance speech. Whoever's in charge of the building, the president or founder or whoever, you know, they have somebody that could be their representative. What else is there I want to talk about? I'll try to do maybe a prediction or review for Elimination Chamber. I can't make any promises. Again, I can't really say for sure when I'm going to do videos. It just kind of has to be just the mood hits me. And tonight I've just... Because I've been thinking about doing a video for like a couple of weeks now. Because I did a new list for a roster of free agents video when I kind of got it where I wanted. I just haven't been in the mood to record anything. I just finally was tonight, so... I mean, I'd like to sit here and say that I'll do a video every Friday, but I'll be here on a Friday because I'm not gonna be in class on a Friday night, and I can just be here to, you know, now watch SmackDown on Fridays, and I can do a video. I just can't say anything for certain. It's just gotta be in the mood to do one. Hang on, let me check my time. What else do I want to say about WWE? I'm sure it's something big that I'm missing right now, but, you know, email me some questions if you want me to answer in the video, and I'll still try to do Q&A videos whenever I just get enough questions, if y'all still interested in me doing any. I can't say what else kind of stuff I'm going to be doing. Let's see here. Oh, another thing that's actually interesting that's been kind of getting my attention, this whole thing with Wade Barrett and Bo Dallas. So they're starting to introduce a new kid, and you know, it's been real simple, really slow build, and I'm liking it. I want to see where this goes. I don't know when they're gonna have their first official, second actual match, because Bo won the first one on Raw. They've attacked each other a couple of times, so you know, I'm just kind of waiting to see what goes down. Yeah. TNA. What's going on with TNA? Since the last time I made a video, TNA has made several major announcements. First, they announced that they were going to be changing their pay-per-view special. They're dropping only 4 major pay-per-views a year, and the rest are going to be some pre-taped specials. They're going to be like video on demand that you can just watch whenever you want. They're going to be taping these several specials. I don't know if I'm going to be watching any of them. I am interested in seeing the supposed. There's like a list of themes that came out that are rumored to be what the themes for the shows are going to be. And they're all going to be like independent of current TV storylines. They're just going to be just wrestling in one central theme for just that night. Supposedly there's going to be one for the Knockouts called the Knockouts Knockdown. So it'll be some kind of one-night tournament. I'm interested in seeing that one. I'd like to see a whole night of women's wrestling, like 3 straight hours. And I'm hoping that they bring in some new women for it, you know. Unfortunately, they had to suspend their gut check challenge because people were trying to rig the voting. And I'm hoping they can figure out a way they can do it where people can't rig, but there's always a way to rig. If you're determined enough, you can rig stuff. Even if they make it where it's only, you know, log an IP, one vote computer, there's ways you can change your IP, and you can delete cache and cookies so that the computer won't recognize that you already voted once and it won't log your IP. You can log on from a different computer. You know, there's just a lot of ways people can hack it and vote more than once, and they're just going to have to deal with that. Unfortunately, it's going to skew the voting. And it's, you know, it's so messed up because I'm hoping that, you know, I don't want TNA to get so frustrated with this that they just kill the concept altogether. You know, I want it to be fair. You know, because I did vote in the original one, and I voted one person in each bracket. I didn't try to do any secondary votings or 2 votes. Most of the brackets I voted for the woman in the bracket because I really want to see some new women in TNA more than anything. So most of the brackets, unless it was somebody I knew from another show, like a couple NWA Hollywood guys I think were on some, and I voted for them. If it was just somebody I'm familiar with, I voted for them. If there was no one that I was familiar with, I pretty much just voted for whoever the woman was in the group, one of the women. I think I voted for Athena in one bracket. I voted for Lufisto in one. And I think I voted just like a couple women that I'm not familiar with. But that's mostly what I did. And hopefully when the new one comes out, that's what I'm going to do too. You know, I hope that people aren't going to spam. If anybody sees this video, I'm hoping you're not one of the people that are spamming votes. Because I want to, cause, you know, you want to get a real accurate vote. And if you go spam, don't go overboard with it. Because if you just go overboard, you're going to know. You know, like they was doing the original one, and people was logging like 1,000 votes in less than a day. And, you know, that's not happening. They know that somebody suddenly jumps from, you know, most people get votes in the low hundreds, and now suddenly you jumping past them with thousands of votes. And who does this really? What person has so little of a life that they feel they need to spam a vote just so somebody can get a shot on gut check? You know, everybody can't get a contract, and I get you want the person you know that you like to win, but this ain't the way to do it. It kind of annoys me that TNA is doing something that's really positive, wanting to give a lot of up and comers and inspire people trying to make it to the big leagues, and they want to give them a chance and make it fair, and they want to have some fan interaction. Let the fans decide who should get a shot, and just some people decide to just ruin it. It's like, this is why we can't have nice things. That's just kind of what it makes me think. This is why we can't have nice things, because there's somebody that want to come in and be selfish with it or mess it up, just bad apples spoiling it for everybody. Hopefully they can fix it so that this won't be a problem again and start it over. What else? TNA announced that they're going to be leaving the Impact Zone. They're taking the show on the road permanently. Cool. I read today that the ticket sales for the first live show in Chicago has been selling really, really well, and that's good to hear. I'm hoping they have some really good crowds when they go on the road. And there's this rumor that WWE is trying to pull some tricks to block them from getting arenas. Like, they're trying to book up like contracts with arenas and book dates in small arenas, and try to get arenas to sign no compete clause that says like you can't run any other wrestling show in this building if you book with us. And that's the rumor, that they're trying to do some underhanded stuff. One of the rumors said that WWE might change their house show schedule and start scheduling house shows in the cities where TNA are filming Impact on the same night to try to take away from their audience. And I don't know. I mean, that's just up for the fans to decide. Would you rather go see a WWE house show or a live episode of Impact? I mean, personally, I'd take the live episode of Impact over a WWE house show. That's just me. But maybe not everybody else feels that way. And I have mixed feelings on this story. If it's true, it hasn't been confirmed yet, but I have mixed feelings. Because as a wrestling fan, I just feel like it's a really dick move trying to do something that limits another company from growth, because the growth of TNA is good for the wrestling business as a whole. The whole business benefits from them becoming bigger. And that's why I don't like this. As a wrestling fan, this really is, really annoying. As a regular person, though, I totally get it. It's a kind of a dirty business trick, but that's what you should do. If you can stop your competition from growing bigger, you should do that as a businessman. I can't, as a person and as understanding what I understand about business, I can't hate on Vince McMahon as a businessman doing something he can use to stifle the growth of his competition or potential competition. So as a person, I get it. As a wrestling fan, it sucks. I hope it's not true. But in the end, my wrestling fan side is kind of winning on this one. So I'm just really hoping that this just ain't true, that this ain't happening. What else? Apparently, rumor I read today is that Lockdown is not going to be all cage matches anymore. It's just going to be the Lethal Lockdown in the main event match. I gotta say, I don't like this. I like the all cage match thing. I like it, and I've heard some mixed reactions about it. Some people say they think it's better that way. I don't want it to be like Hell in a Cell. You have a pay-per-view called Hell in a Cell. There was one Hell in a Cell match. The next pay-per-view is Elimination Chamber, and to my knowledge, there's only one chamber match. I like the fact that Lockdown is all cage matches. I like that we get an X Division in a cage. I like that we get the knockouts in a cage, I like seeing everything in the cage. I hope that this is false, and I hope they don't change it. I hope they leave it the way it is. I like the fact that every match is in the cage. I want every match to remain in the cage. Tell me what you think about it, though. Would you rather see Lockdown with only the main event matches, just the world title and the Lethal Lockdown in the cage, or would you, are you like me that you'd rather them keep it where they're all in the cage? Like I said, I'd rather all the matches be in the cage. What else? So, TNA changed the pay-per-view, going on the road, leaving the Impact Zone, filming their specials. I watched British Boot Camp, all 6 episodes. I really liked it. I'm hoping they do something like that again. I really wish Rinka King would come back. I wish I'd at least like to have some kind of knowledge on what happened with that. Because I really enjoyed that show, and it seemed like it got a good response, and people were into it, and people watched it, but it just didn't come back, and I don't know why. I'd at least like some kind of update on it, like why it's not coming back, but I wish it would. I'm wondering what AJ Styles is gonna do when he comes back. Yeah, he kind of did that promo about how he's tired of cleaning up people's messes, and tired of being the hero and stuff like that. And I'm kind of hoping he comes back and kind of does that as like fighting aces and eights, sort of a this is the last time, Dixie. This is the last time I save your ass. This is the last time I clear up one of your messes. I'm sick of being a hero. I'm sick of cleaning up your messes. I'm just plain sick of you. But this is the last time, and I'm gonna lead the fight against aces and eights. And after that, you don't ask me for help anymore. You get this. You always get this company into a mess, whether it's Planet Jared, Main Event Mafia, Immortal, or something else. Now aces and eights, you always get us into some kind of trouble. And I'm always the one who has to lead the charge to get us out of it. But I'm not going to do that anymore. This is the last time. After aces and eights, you screw up again, I'm just going to let what happens, happens. That's kind of how I like to see it. Anything else I want to say? No, I'm getting kind of sleepy. I'm going to go ahead and go to sleep. And I'm sure as soon as I stop, I'm going to remember like 50 things I wanted to say. But I'm going to go ahead and stop. I just wanted to let everybody know what the deal is with me and what's going on with me making videos. And just share a couple of thoughts for a little bit. So, like I said, I'm going to try... I'm hoping to get back to doing videos on a regular basis. And I think maybe if I get back into it, the mood to do videos will just hit me more. Because I'm not bored with wrestling. I actually am really enjoying most of the vast majority of what I'm getting with WWE and TNA right now. It's just, I don't know, I just haven't been in the mood to do a video for a while. But I am now, so I'm going to go ahead and end this video. Hopefully some of the people who listen to my videos in the past will come back and listen again. If you send me questions, I'll try to start doing at least Q&A videos sometimes, or regular weekly videos like I used to do. But we'll just kind of have to wait and see what happens in the future. This is the Shadow Ranger. Thank you for listening. If you like my video, you can please subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at TJSMITH3. And have a nice day.